Hey guys, so in my last video, I suggested that I do a video about music, and a lot of you guys really seem to like that, so I'm just gonna do that. And I get really passionate about music, so if I offend your favorite band, I really apologize. It's just something that I've always been in love with, and it's just, I don't know, so I'm not trying to offend anybody, it's just, these are my opinions, and this is probably going to be in 2 parts, because I tried to do this, once already, and it didn't really work out. It went really far over, and I really didn't get to say everything that I wanted to say, so I hope you guys like this, and if I do 2 parts, which I'm most likely going to, I'll upload them both today, don't worry. I'm going to do the first part, softly speaking, and the second part, whispering, because I've always wondered, like, if people prefer whispering to softly speaking, so if you have a preference either way, please tell me, and I'll try to make those videos more than the other. So, I'm going to start by doing bands that I love. I'm just kind of describing like why I like them and everything. Right now, my favorite band is the Black Keys. I go look them up. They're amazing. It's just made up, or the band is just made up of a drummer and a guitarist, and it's crazy because usually you have, in like the most basic of bands, you have, you know, at least a bassist, a guitarist, and a drummer. But in this, the bass drum of the drum set is the bass guitar, and they have like this amazing sound. It's like old school bluesy rock, and it's amazing. They're so great. I have so many of their songs. I think all of their albums, and they're amazing. Yeah, go check them out. I love them so much. I've never heard a song by them that I don't like. I'll probably put like my favorite song from each of these artists like in the down bar, so you can kind of see like what kind of music I like. Okay, and another band that I love, which is really kind of weird, like if you heard me talking about the Black Keys, and well, of course you did because you're at this point, but how I said that they only have 2 people in a band, Arcade Fire, which is the next band, they have, oh my god, it's incredible. They have like 10 people at least always in their band. It's like almost like a complete orchestra. I mean, it's incredible. They have violinists, they have cellists, they have just, oh my god, they're amazing, and they make some of the most beautiful and interesting music that I've ever heard. If you're gonna start listening to them, they actually won a Grammy last year for best album of the year, which they totally deserved. It was an amazing album. But I think the album that you really need to start with if you're going to start listening to them is Funeral. That album is perfect. I've never listened to a more perfect album. I mean, just every song is great, and it evokes an emotion in you, and it just makes you feel different things, and the lyrics are fantastic, and just, it's perfect. I love it so much. I think there's only like 10 songs on it, but it's flawless. I love it. Sorry, I had to burp. Well, the next band is Death Cab for Cutie. They are amazing. Their lyrics are so beautiful, and they have great imagery. The lead singer actually is married to Zooey Deschanel, who is so freaking adorable. I love her so much. She's, if you don't know who she is, she's the star of New Girl, the new show on Fox. She's so cute. I love her so much. And yeah, so she's married to him. And his voice is really interesting, and I like it a lot. But yeah, they have really cool songs. They all, like I said, have really amazing lyrics, but also their songs really don't sound the same. Like, you listen to some bands and their songs really sound really similar to all the other ones that they've made, but with Death Cab, all of the songs really sound different, and they're very distinct. And I like whenever a band does that. I like whenever they go into different genres and they explore different sounds. I love that. Even if I don't like the song as much as another one, I still like that they were adventurous. And yeah. Another band, the White Stripes. I will never ever get sick of the White Stripes. I love Jack White's voice so much. Like, that's one of the things, whenever I'm listening to music, I love bands with interesting sounds. I don't like just normal where you can like hear it anywhere. I like unique voices and unique sounds, and the White Stripes really have that. Again, just a drummer and a guitarist, like the Black Keys, but a different sound, really. They're more rock, kind of alternative. I mean, most people have probably heard something from the White Stripes, but if I had to describe them, they're more rock, and I don't even know. They're really cool. They have some kind of funny songs, and just their songs always make me smile because they're so cool. And they recently broke up, but I have all of their albums. They're amazing. A singer that I've been just in love. I've always loved him, but really lately I've listened to one of his songs on repeat, and it's Bon Iver, or it's spelled Bon Iver, like B-O-N, then Iver, I-V-E-R, but I think it's pronounced Bon Iver. That's how Jimmy Fallon said it whenever he was on the show. But his songs are just so heart-wrenching and so beautiful, and just, oh my gosh, they are just the most perfect songs. And his voice, I've never heard a voice like his. He has an amazing range. Like, he can go really high on his range, which is, it's pretty difficult for men to do. And he does it. He has just a beautiful voice. And his music, I don't even know how to really describe the genre. It's kind of like folk, acoustic, I don't even know. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going to put songs in the down bar so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Like, my number one most recommended song from this artist, or a few if I really can't decide. But this one song, it's actually a cover that he does of a Feist song, who's also fabulous. And I've seriously listened to it on repeat for the past 3 days. Like, that's all I listen to. It's just this one song. And it's just so amazing and so fantastic in the lyrics. Even though he didn't write it and it's just a cover, that's what makes it even more amazing, I think, is that this wasn't even his song, but he makes it his own. And it's beautiful, and it's so amazing. I think two artists that I really just, they're Adele and the Beatles. I really judge people's musical taste on whether or not they like Adele or the Beatles. If they don't like Adele or the Beatles, then I don't really continue to talk to them, which sounds really stuck up, but it's true. Or not that I just won't talk to them ever, but when we're talking about music, I don't really take their opinion very seriously, because first of all, it's the Beatles. They revolutionized music. They made sounds that nobody had ever heard before. They did things with music that nobody, like, was never seen before. And I mean, they're always just going to be the #1 band in the world ever. And Adele, I could talk about Adele for hours. She is so flawless. I mean, her voice, just, you don't hear a voice like that often, and it's so soulful, and she's so young, and it's just, oh my god, that's just pure talent. And the lyrics, she writes them all herself, and I love whenever artists do that, where they really, it makes them a really well-rounded and fully fledged artist, I think, is whenever they write their own music. And she writes all of her own lyrics, and they're so amazing. They're so beautiful, and just, they really, I mean, I never cry. Like, let's just get that straight. Like, I hardly ever cry. But when I listen to her songs sometimes, like, it just, like, I start to kind of tear up, because they're just so beautiful, and she sings them in such a way that you can really hear all of the pain that she's gone through, and everything that's happened to make her write these words. And it's just, she's just fantastic. Now, having said that, those are only like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 bands that I love. Those are like my top bands right now. But there are some bands that used to be like my #1, and it's just, they really changed their sound, and not for the better, in my opinion. And one of those is My Chemical Romance. I used to worship My Chemical Romance. I mean, I bought The Black Parade, and that album was fantastic. That was all the way back in 2006, and I was like 12 or 13, and that album was so amazing. It had so many different kinds of music, so many different styles, and it was just, it was amazing, and I loved Gerard's voice. And so whenever they came out with their album, I think it was last year in 2010, I was really excited, because it had been 4 years since they had released an album. And I went on iTunes, because I hardly ever buy music. Either my friends like Bluetooth it to me, or make CDs for me, or I get stuff from the library. So I went on iTunes, and they have like the 1-minute previews or whatever for albums, and I listened to it, and I was so disappointed. I mean, it sounded nothing like them. They went from being kind of alternative rock, slightly emo, to being pop rock, and it was like, I didn't know what happened. Like, the only thing that told me that it was still them was Gerard's voice, and I mean, that's it. Oh god, I can't even describe like how disappointed I was. That was awful. And then all my friends, just on Tumblr especially, there are so many people that are just obsessed with that album, and I don't understand it at all. I don't understand how anyone can really like that album. Me and my brother, we debate about it all the time, but like, he agrees with me that it was awful, but he's like, there's one song on there that's good, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not good enough to, account for the rest of the album being completely awful. So, oh wow, I only got through like 8 of the things that I was going to talk about. So, I am going to stop this video, upload it, and film the other part of it. So, hopefully you guys can watch this one, and in a couple of hours you'll have the second part. Bye guys, thank you so much for watching.